It is a pantheon of concrete and steel. It is a city that rises defiantly in the Delta, alongside the father of waters. It is the humidity of autumn evenings that drapes stately oaks and broad magnolias. It is haunted, and it is loud. It is Halloween night and cannon blasts. It is a Louisiana gumbo of humanity that cheers its tigers to victory and destroys the dreams of invading foes. The chance of rain is never. It is the cathedral of college football, and worship happens here, when the sun finds its home in the western sky. It is a field of glory, for sure, but much more than that. It is a sacred place. And it is Saturday night in Death Valley.
Oh yeah, 5-star LSU. I said they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going out to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up. Hey, 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 way down in the back.
T-A! We're live
And together again.
and together, and I'm back.
Because guess what? We got a birthday coming up, y'all. Reagan is turning 23 on Monday, which will be here on Monday to celebrate
Yeah.
Reagan's birthday.
Yeah.
But he's here celebrating. We went out to eat tonight. It was fun.
Yeah, man. Went and got me some good food. I like to eat good food. No, I love to eat good food. Turning 23 every single stinking year, Zach.
Oof.
Every year. Every year.
year.
My birthday falls on the weekend of the LSU Alabama game.
Which hasn't been great.
In recent history, hasn't been great. 2019 was the best birthday gift I could have ever had.
Yeah.
To
And it
go
continued
in
into Christmas.
Oh man, it was a Christmas gift. It was the gift that kept on giving. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen every year. And I've suffered many birthdays, sad and depressed, crying and consoling myself in a bowl of ice cream.
2012 was probably the worst.
Yeah. 2018 was pretty rough.
2018 was pretty
The
rough.
hype of that build to that game and then go 29-0.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Zip. That was brutal.
2016 was bad too because that was a really close game, and then in the fourth quarter, Bama finally breaks free and gets 10
Was
points. on the board.
2012 the TJ Yeldon?
2012 was TJ Yeldon.
Oh, man.
2016 was nobody scored until the fourth quarter, and then Bama scored a touchdown. And I think wasn't there like I think if I recall correctly, y'all, if you're on the comments, help us out. I think there was like a bad call.
And I also
Somewhere in there.
will never forget.
The Pat P interception.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm
What year
going
was that?
to.
Was that 2008? I think it was 2008.
I will never forget that. One of the most blatantly missed calls. How in the world, number one, do you not make the call on the field. I can get that. How do you review that
And still,
and still don't get it right?
yeah, that was bad.
The turf,
You can see it.
the turf
like a
was
whole
kicked
inch.
up
It's like a whole inch
from
of
his cleat.
Yeah, that's bad.
It was horrible. It was I hate Alabama. I hate them.
Yeah,
We shouldn't have started like this. Why don't we recap it? I hate them. Just reminded
You're
me.
the one who brought it up. I try to make it positive with like it's Reagan's birthday weekend.
But this is the reality of my birthday.
Yeah,
It's the
unfortunately.
reality.
But hey, it might be different this year. It'll be
I
different this year.
got a positive outlook on it. I really do. I do. And we'll get to that. But man, yeah, every birthday I have to suffer through a Bama game. Sometimes it is exactly on my birthday.
Yeah.
Like the
When's
day.
the last time it was exact? Do you remember the last time it was
I don't.
exactly on your birthday? All right,
don't.
we're about to look that up.
We'll have to figure it out. November 7th is my actual birthday for those who do not know. Monday. Zach, I wanted to say in my absence, I apologize, by the way. I mean, just a reminder, I am in college and we're kind of bottlenecking down to the last, few weeks of school, and it gets a good bit hectic at times.
Understandable.
So I had to excuse myself from the show earlier this week, but glad to be back. I hate to miss, but it is what it is sometimes.
Oh, 2020.
2020 was my
Which
birthday.
is when we got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
It was like 50 something to 3.
That's true.
Or no, it was like 55 to 17.
It was really bad. Last year was pretty surprising, though. Last year was so surprising.
It was very surprising because LSU did not have a great team. We started walk-ons. Started walk-ons.
Pig Cage had a
Cage,
game, bro.
Pig Cage was
son.
a starting defensive back, and
Strip sack Bryce
and
Young.
we almost beat them,
bro,
in Tuscaloosa.
You think back
with the better team
to the TDP fumble.
Yeah,
at the opening of the second half last year. Think about the strip sack from Cam Lewis that gave you the ball in their territory. You were down 20-14 with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, it was brutal.
You held them to 6 yards rushing last year. 6 in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs. So
I don't know if Jameer Gibbs allows that to happen this year.
Nah, probably not. Alabama's offensive line really was a problem last year.
It was a big problem last year.
I mean, I will say that and we'll talk about this, but the interior of their offensive line is questionable sometimes this year. But last year, it was a problem.
Yeah.
It was a problem. I mean, Pig Cage, Cam Lewis was out there wreaking havoc. We were getting pressure to Bryce Young all game long. That's why we stayed in it. I mean, we stayed in it. And they had all of them incredible receivers. Dwight McLaughlin had a heck of a game.
Yeah, he did.
He had a great game.
It was a good time.
Flott had a great game.
Even in the loss, you were like,
Flott may have been hurt.
You went away from that game last year like,
wow, what just
like
happened?
We didn't win, but it felt like a win.
Yeah, that was like if you take a moral victory, it's a moral victory.
It sucked because you go through the fingertips there to lose, but it is what it is. We got
all right
this year.
So in other news, Zach, and we'll get to, obviously we're going to do a big preview here in next segment of the Bama LSU game tomorrow, primetime, Death Valley. I'm so looking forward to it. And I'm so jealous of our boy Bobby, who's going to be in attendance.
The producer.
In attendance to the game. So jealous of him. He's going to be there to watch it unfold. I hope he gets to celebrate being there. I hope it doesn't feel like a waste of money.
Yeah. Like the Florida State game.
Yeah. I don't know. The Florida State game may have not been a waste of money. It was a game. Yeah, the game was nuts.
Yeah.
I will say for about 3 quarters, it didn't feel like a great game. I mean, it was a pretty drab game there for a while. It was pretty bleak.
It ended good though.
But it ended good.
Well,
It
it
ended
didn't
good.
end good, but it was for college football fans. It was an amazing game, fourth
Yeah,
quarter.
yeah.
Not for LSU fans.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you wish you could have that back.
am I late? Am I late? Get over, baby. Am I late?
Oh Lord.
This is. I'm late. I'm so sorry. Hey, baby. I heard all about you. You're cute.
What is happening?
I do not
right
know
now?
what's happening right now.
What? I mean, is
Okay.
this the Tigers Avenue podcast?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, I heard I'm supposed to be a guest on the Tigers Avenue podcast tonight. Isn't this it? I mean, I got my nails done and I got my hair did for it. I'm so excited. I'm
Currently losing followers and viewers
I
at the
can
current
almost
moment.
pee on myself. I'm
I
so
don't-
excited.
I don't know what to say right now.
Well, I mean, I'm Bayou Bingo Bertha, and
Uh-huh.
I'm here to tell y'all real bad secrets.
We are losing viewers
you
at
say-
the current moment.
Did
What?
you say Bayou Bertha?
My name is Bayou Bertha.
Bayou Bertha.
The door was locked and he broke in.
Bayou Bertha
We
just
literally
broke
locked
in.
the door.
I'm not a he, I'm a girl. Did you not see that?
What?
We literally locked
What?
the door.
What do you what do
I
you
came here with big news.
what's the big news, Big Bertha?
Well, you
By
know,
Bayou Bertha?
y'all know I got connections.
You got connections?
Oh, I got
Oh, my
friends
gosh.
in low places.
Oh
When I
Lord.
was out on Halloween night,
Oh my god, this is so bad.
and you know
I
it
can't.
was Nick Saban's birthday. You know
It was Nick Saban's birthday. It was.
On Halloween night.
71 years old.
Only the devil's birthday's on Halloween night.
Right? I mean,
That's when the voodoo happens.
I've been around for a long time, and I went out to this.
Oh my.
I'm texting mother right now. I'm gonna tell
I
her
went
please
out
come meet
to
your
this-
husband.
This place.
Oh,
to
boy.
eat with a friend for Halloween, and Nick Saban was there,
Uh-huh.
and I went over to him and I said, "I buy you Bertha," and
Uh-huh.
y'all are playing my team this coming Saturday.
I have texted my mother.
So anyway, I sat down with him and he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I didn't invite you to sit down." I said, "I don't care what you think
Oh
I'm man.
gosh.
I know how old you are now, and I know the truth about you. Just admit it.
This is such a long
Admit it."
conversation.
And I came on here to tell y'all so y'all can do some more research. And then I'll get out of y'all's way.
We'll do some more research on that.
We
Bayou
will,
birthday.
we will.
Okay, well, here's what I
Look.
found out. I got him to admit it.
Okay.
I said, "Look, I went back in the archives online, and I found
The
out.
archives online.
I found out that the devil's wife birthed you, Nick Saban. You
Oh.
have a deal with the devil."
Nick
He has a
Saban
deal
has
with
a
the
deal
devil.
with the devil.
Yes, and he admitted that he was going that night to like poke himself and shed some blood and,
Oh, Lord.
and renew his deal with the devil.
Oh
Oh
wow.
my. So he sold his soul.
He had sold his soul to the
Oh,
devil.
my.
And that's why he was born on Halloween. He's the devil. He is the devil's son, people. I'm telling you here tonight. That's why he wins all those championships. He is the devil's child.
Satan.
I'm so overwhelmed. I gotta go, but I want to tell y'all, we gonna win. We're winning. I tell y'all, seen it in the clouds. We're winning. We're winning. We're winning. 38 to 34.
Third.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for having me on the show. You're so
All
yeah,
right.
if I was available, I'd be coming after you.
Oh Lord.
First off, I
All right.
Uh,
Bayou Bertha, everybody.
I'm gonna apologize.
No, bye.
Oh my.
I don't know what just happened.
All
We-
right. Bayou Bertha.
We lost so many viewers in that current moment.
All right. Well, according per sources,
Sources.
per sources,
Nick Saban is the devil.
Nick Saban is
Yeah, has
the
to deal with
devil's
the devil.
child, and or
The
he's
devil's wife's
well, he's
child.
the devil. He's the devil's child, and he's also at the same time has a deal with his father. I guess
I guess.
sold his soul to win all these championships.
Lord Jesus, help me.
All right. Where were
I need to get better locks.
we? I think he just picked the lock.
He did just pick
He
the
picked the
lock,
lock.
literally.
He picked the lock.
So for those of you that had to
Oh,
endure that,
my.
that was our father. Interesting.
I think I was about to start the recruiting conversation.
Yeah, we were close. We were close to starting the recruiting conversation. I have a lot of editing to do tonight. That is for sure.
Well, in other news, thank you, Big Bertha. Big Bertha.
Bayou
Bertha. I just think Big Bertha. That's where it goes. All right.
God, that was so bad.
Big day in LSU's football recruiting, or few days. DJ Chester yesterday. Golly, I can't get that out of my
I don't even know how to
head.
recover from that.
We can't recover. DJ Chester commits offensive tackle out of the state of Georgia, big time recruit. I mean, man, how about Brad Davis putting together a very solid offensive line so far in this recruiting class?
Yeah, Tyree Adams,
Zalance Hurd,
Mm-hmm.
Paul Mubinga, and now DJ Chester, 2 out of Georgia, 2 out of Louisiana. I mean, great pickup. And then the big one was today.
Yeah.
The future.
The shocker.
The future. Breaking news from today, early this morning. Colin Hurley, out of the 2025 class, reclassifies to the 24 class. The number 2 quarterback in the country for his class. You know, we'll see how it pans out now with the we'll see how it now pans out with the 24 class, but a massive recruit, a 5-star quarterback, reclassifies and pledges his allegiance to LSU, a massive pickup for the Tigers. And Zach, there's a big haul of players, big time players, that are going to be in Tiger Stadium this weekend.
Yeah. It's a big recruiting weekend for LSU for sure. Can you imagine how much the dividends if LSU is able to win entire stadium? I mean, you remember 2019 when they won, they were literally going to the recruiting section in Tuscaloosa and like telling the recruits to come to LSU. That's pretty awesome. Like, this is one of those moments, like you beat Bama, you go to the recruiting section, entire stadium,
Come here.
And you're like, hey, this is what we're about. But I got to be honest, Reagan, 2025 is a ways out, and I sure was not paying attention to 2025 recruits.
No, I mean, we were getting the crystal balls from, I think, is it Wiltfong? Steve Wiltfong, I know, released a crystal ball, and you're like, okay,
cool.
You're like, I mean, that's great. He's a 5-star quarterback, big time recruit.
But it's like years from now.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
He's a sophomore in high school. But I mean, now
he's a junior.
He's reclassified, and his senior year's next year.
Yep.
So it was big news, and obviously they knew something we didn't know. Something was going down. Joe Sloan, hats off to you and Brian Kelly for getting the job done. Obviously, I mean, they took care of this bye weekend. They did some business. I mean, you take a recruiting opportunity in the bye week to go and meet a bunch of guys. I know Brian Kelly said he made a focus of staying in touch with some already committed guys. You saw oh man, who was it? I believe it was Robert Steeples. It was either Kerry Cooks or Steeples, and Matt House went out and saw Ryan Yates. Ryan Yates also kind of closed his recruitment down.
Yep.
So recruiting's going very well for LSU, and currently LSU, oh Lord, Bayou Bertha was amazing. I'm sure you would say that. I'm sure you would.
I'm getting better locks next time.
So where was I? Oh, Ryan Yates and okay. The recruiting.
Don't let Bayou Bertha mess you up again.
Oh gosh. Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
So you're sitting at the top in the top 4 now for the class of 23 with the commitment of DJ Chester.
Yeah.
You're working on another top 4 class
and you're not
in 24. They're not done. you got guys this weekend, massive secondary recruits. Desmond Ricks,
Yes.
who reclassified, is here this weekend.
Committing in
December 23rd. Bama, Florida, LSU are his final 3. Taviano, I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Javen Taviano. He's here this weekend. Another big-time secondary player. And
which LSU needs right now.
Which LSU needs. He's 2023 class and seems to be an LSU lean. You go look on those sites. I think 247 has him 100% LSU lean.
Crystal ball.
Yeah. So the recruiting is continuing to do very well. Those who claim and say that, Brian Kelly can't recruit. Who was that Driscoll guy who went on Crane and Co. and said he or Preston Guy's show too and said he won't be able to recruit the way he needs to. Guy, LSU recruits itself. And Brian Kelly has taken that and ran with it.
Yeah.
And we're doing very well. In this class.
He's already shut them up.
Next 2
and
classes.
He's just continuing to shut them up.
I mean, you look at these classes and they're chock full of big time talent. I mean, great players. I honestly think Shelton Sampson and Jalen Brown should still be 5 stars. The fact that they're not
wide receiver you still.
Yeah, the fact that they're not is absurd. But anyways,
they got the LSU dump.
Yeah,
not bump, not the Bama bump. The LSU dump.
Like Jalen Brown commits, all of a sudden he's not a 5-star. Shelton Sampson commits, all of a sudden he's not a 5. Like it's just
Walker Howard, and Will Campbell commit. Boom, 4-star.
Yeah, it's like
stupid.
Okay, okay, bump the brakes a little bit. So Brian Kelly has continued to kill it recruiting wise, and I don't think he's quite done yet. No. So. Really excited for what he's building. The trenches look amazing. We saw the haul of defensive linemen he brought in this past summer. Now you got 4 big boys on the offensive line coming in. You win the SEC at the line of scrimmage.
Sure.
And he's doing a wonderful job.
The future of the offensive line looks very good.
Very encouraging. The scrimmage line.
Very good.
On both sides is looking very talented and loaded, even still. So continue to keep your eye out for recruiting. Don't go to sleep on it yet. I don't think we're quite done, and I think we're going to finish out a really good class this year. So, all right, that's recruiting news. Big guys here this weekend to watch this big game.
Recruiting in Bayou Bertha.
Yeah. Wow.
If you're just now joining us, or if you're joining us and you heard the recruiting part, but you didn't hear the beginning, it's okay. You don't have to. We tell you to rewind and go back. You don't have to. just skip it. Just skip the beginning.
So,
it's preview time. I'm excited. Usually, I'm not excited for Bama games. Usually, I'm not excited.
Well, I got something in my throat. I'm about to start coughing.
You're like what happened to me the other day. Remember, I about died. I about died on the pot. Not really, but
no. I think I got it under control. I think I'm good. Based on our previous conversation about having to endure Bama games every year on my birthday weekend, yep, we got another one tomorrow, and it's a big one. Top 10 matchup in Death Valley, prime time kickoff, ESPN. I am really looking forward to this game. I'm pumped about it. Brian Kelly's first matchup against Nick Saban as an LSU Tiger. Obviously, his past 2 against Nick Saban and Notre Dame didn't go so well for him. I would say he's got a little bit more talent.
For sure.
A little bit more of the ability to beat a team like Alabama.
And if you're a Bama fan and you're thinking, oh, this is Brian Kelly, we got it. Come on.
Yeah, you got to look at the talent difference. And that's what we've talked about. That's the whole reason a guy like Brian Kelly makes that move. Very reason. And for the goal of the game itself to play in the SEC West.
Yep.
I mean, the talent LSU has, the ability to win championships, the ability to compete in the SEC West. This is the epitome of why Brian Kelly came. Primetime Death Valley against Alabama, Nick Saban. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we need to talk, I guess, a little in depth about it. Zach, what are your initial thoughts? Initial thoughts for tomorrow's game?
So my first initial thoughts, and I said this on the show on Monday, but I'll say it here again for our new viewers, for our viewers that weren't able to view the show or listen to the Monday podcast. I feel confident going into this game. Like I'm excited about this matchup. Not because I just think like LSU's gonna come out here and just win and blow them out or whatever. Nothing like that. But for the first time in a long time, we have an LSU football team with an LSU roster and all the talent that's on it, coached by a good head football coach that's competent, knows how to run a program, knows how to adjust in game, has coordinators that know how to adjust in game very, very well and have proven that this year. So I'm very much looking forward to it. You're playing an Alabama team that, yes, they are Alabama, and that's one of the points that we do have to realize as LSU fans. I think there's a lot of LSU fans that may be a little too overconfident about this game. Listen, it's Bama. It's Bama. It's Nick Saban. This is going to be a nail-biter to the end, in my opinion. But this is an Alabama team that has struggled a lot this season, and specifically on the road,
yes,
which everybody has talked about. I know a lot of people previewing this game have talked about that. But, I mean, they almost lost to Texas, and Texas is not a great football team. I mean, they're a good football team. They're not a great football team.
I think they're better than – I mean, they played several games without Quinn Ewers. I think they're a better team than people realize.
They're a better team than people realize, but you almost lost to Texas. You should have lost to Texas.
You lost.
If Quinn Ewers is in the game, you lose to Texas. You almost lost to Texas A&M in Tuscaloosa, and Texas A&M is trash.
Well, I mean,
regular.
People are going to refute that. Bryce Young did not play in that game.
Yes, I understand that. Bryce Young went in the game. The young quarterback made a lot of mistakes. The other thing is Bryce Young hasn't been fully 100% this entire season. I don't even know if he's technically considered 100% now, but
yeah, I don't know if he's even been.
I don't even know if he's fully 100%. So there's also that. You do not have the wide receiver talent that you've had. Like, I mean,
agreed, yeah.
I mean, I can go back to like Julio Jones, thinking of and just start naming
Amari
guys.
Cooper.
Yeah, that were just studs.
I mean, last year.
Yeah,
last year.
Jerry Jeudy. Well, that was 2 years ago. But
you had Williamson and
Jamison Williams and Mechie.
Yeah.
And in the past, you had Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy. Like, you had a ton of great football players, great wide receivers. And they've got talent there, but it hasn't shown as much as you would expect for Alabama receivers to show out.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things coming in this game where I'm like, I feel more confident because there's a lack in the execution for Alabama. I think the talent's for sure there. It's always there.
Yeah.
But there's a lack in execution there for Alabama this year, like last year as well. But there's also a confidence around LSU right now.
Yeah.
That is very encouraging. You come off the two last games where they scored almost 100 points combined, almost. And your quarterback threw for but he's recorded 11 total touchdowns through the air and on the ground. So you have a team that's hot right now. They're confident right now. And you have a team in Alabama that's questioning, kind of their identity, I think, a little bit. And it's November. Like, we're in November, and Alabama's still trying to figure some things out.
Yeah.
And that bodes very well for LSU on Saturday.
Yeah. To your receiver point, they went they lost their guys last year. I mean, you lost some major. They lost big time receivers, like all of them, except for Latu, their tight end.
Yeah.
So they had to go to the portal and replace and fill the spot. And Burton, the dude from Louisville, I'm drawing a blank on his name. The guys that they expected to be their guys haven't been it.
Kobe Prentice has been their best wide receiver.
I would say
Outside of
Isaiah Bond too.
Yeah.
But those are guys they're turning to who are very young. Isaiah Bond is a true freshman.
Yeah.
So I can't remember. Is Prentice is he the Louisville guy or is he a freshman too?
I think Kobe Prentice is one of the younger guys too.
But they're having to rely on very young receivers for their passing game, and that has been very evident. I mean, for the first few weeks, they could not throw the ball. They could not throw the ball very well, and they're finally kind of finding it now. They're starting to the passing game's coming together with guys like Prentice and Isaiah Bond. The guy I am so worried about is Latu.
Yeah,
Cameron Latu.
He's a mismatch nightmare.
He's a mismatch, and Bryce Young loves Latu.
Yeah.
When there's pressure on Bryce, when the pocket collapses, Latu is his bailout, and he's good.
He's just get out of jail free card.
Yeah, he really is, and he can put a hurting on some defenses if you're not if the play lasts too long. If the play breaks down, the quarterback starts scrambling. Latu just continually seems to find a place in the field somewhere, and Bryce Young just seems to find a way to get it to him.
Yeah.
So that's a big factor in this game. I wanted to point to in the receiving game. But you're right, the receiving game isn't to the standard of what Bama is used to. And I think Bama fans would agree with that. Like, I'm not just like trying to slight them because, I'm an LSU fan, they're a Bama fan. That's just like my honest opinion about it. But Jahmyr Gibbs, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
He's their best player outside of Bryce Young.
Outside of Bryce Young, he's the best player on the offense. He can catch the ball out of the backfield and hurt you really bad. He can run the ball and hurt you really bad. So he's going to be somebody you're going to have an answer for.
Yeah.
Because not many people have had an answer for him. I don't think anybody has had an answer for him at all. He's a problem. Defensively for Bama, the secondary has been solid, and with the return of Elias Ricks, it
amps things.
It seemed to improve. Elias Ricks, unfortunately, the former LSU Tiger, is an elite talent. Whether we like him or not, whether we like the fact he left or not, that's his own personal business. I don't personally hold anything against him because, let's be real, his first 2 seasons at LSU were awful. Maybe there were some things I have, reserves about, but the guy made a decision for himself. He's went somewhere else in the coaching change and the disaster that was the last 2 years. I don't blame him. But the dude's still good. And he looked really good against Will Rogers and Mississippi State. Kool-Aid McKinstry continues to be really good. He is one of the top 2 guys in the SEC with the most snaps played without allowing a touchdown. Hadn't allowed a touchdown all year long. And then you talk about Alabama's defensive line. Will Anderson.
Yeah.
And your true freshman tackles. How is that going to look tomorrow night? True freshman tackles against arguably the best defensive player, maybe the best player in all of college football. It's going to be a scary matchup for them. Though, I think for the most part, Emory Jones and Will Campbell have answered the call.
They've been perfect.
And I wouldn't say perfect.
No, I'm saying record-wise.
Oh, yeah, together they're perfect.
Knock on
That's
wood.
true.
Knock on wood, they're still undefeated.
That is true. That is a cool stat. when Emory Jones and Will Campbell play in a game together,
And they start.
and they start together, correct? They're undefeated. We're 5-0. We're 5-0 with them.
Yeah. Or might be 6-0. Are we 6-0 with them?
We going into the Ole Miss game, they were 4-0. That
Okay.
stat popped up. That stat popped up during the Ole Miss game, so it's now 5-0. So yeah, man, I mean, maybe they do, but man, talk about the experience they're getting as true freshmen. They're going to be elite linemen come junior year. I mean, you're going to be so solid and reliable.
Yeah.
Come junior year. Speaking of offensive line, Garrett Dellinger is out.
Which a lot of people we thought he would be back.
Yeah, and he said he was pretty well healthy, but like it's kind of fresh.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to put him at risk. And in all honesty,
You're good.
Miles
Frazier's been
played
doing good at
well
left
with
guard.
Miles Frazier and Bradford. Yeah, absolutely. The guard position, I think, has been really well. Hats off. I don't think Charles Turner is getting talked enough. He's not being talked enough about. Garrett Dellinger obviously started the year as the center. They kind of cross-trained him during the spring and the fall camp to do that. I don't think it was Garrett Dellinger that was a problem. I think they wanted to move Garrett Dellinger elsewhere to fix some other problems on the offensive line at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Charles Turner would be your next guy. And he's done great. And, he's the starter now. So I think a pretty big matchup in this game is our offensive line against Alabama's defensive line. I mean, they're big dudes. Jaheim Otis out of Columbia, Mississippi is a monster.
Yeah.
Will Anderson, obviously, and honestly, past that, I don't know many names for them, but it's going to be a great matchup. Really excited to see how Brian Kelly does, because I mean, as LSU fans, like your goal is to beat Bama, get to the SEC championship, and compete for national titles, right? And there is so much on the line for both teams.
I mean, you win this game. If LSU wins this game, they're in sole possession of first place in the West.
You are in the driver's seat.
And you control your own destiny.
You can, yes.
God.
The feeling of controlling your own destiny makes it so much freer, I think, too. You can play more free. You can have, it's a little less stress. So to win this game, oh my goodness. And Brian Kelly's first year, it would be absolutely massive. I know you said, like LSU's roster, paired with a Brian Kelly type coach. I mean, in all reality, guys, this isn't quite what LSU can be roster wise.
No,
you're still not at a full 85. You're playing a bunch of transfers. Clearly, you want to build this team from your recruiting, and they're starting to do that, and they are. I mean, we talked about that, but you're a team still full of transfers, and you finally here in the last few weeks kind of put it together, and they're gelling finally. I mean, talk about Jaden Daniels coming from Arizona State, the struggles. At the beginning of the year between him and the receivers, you had to grow that chemistry. You had to grow relationships, trust, and it seems like they got it now.
Yeah,
and it's been looking great. Another big news: Jack Best returns, John Emery returns for the Tigers. So, yeah, it's going to be really fun, Zach. It's going to be really fun tomorrow night. The matchup is going to be huge. I guess we need to talk matchups a little bit.
Yeah, we can. You want to get to cut some comments before we do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. But your wife's in here said happy birthday weekend, Reagan.
Thank you, love. Thank you, love.
Miss Beth Spagner's.
Shout out to Beth.
Chapman, I should say.
Shout out to Beth.
She said happy
Bama
birthday.
fan.
Roll Tide.
Family friend.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
she said Roll Tide. Brandon Reese. He said if BK was to beat Saban and Bama tomorrow night, after saying he wants to beat him, that would be the ultimate flex, especially costing Saban a chance to go to the playoffs. Yeah, it would be.
Oh, I mean, it would be amazing.
The national doubters would be shut up.
Yeah, all the critics would definitely go away for sure.
He also said, "Man, I hope the offense and defense comes out firing on all cylinders. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt House calls blitzes all night. Hey, that worked last year versus Bryce Young. It worked. I mean, they just blitzed.
Pressure.
They blitzed the crap out of them last year, and it worked. It worked if you'd had this year's offense and last year's defensive performance.
Yeah, yeah. 6 rushing yards? That's
Yeah.
crazy. In Tuscaloosa.
In Tuscaloosa.
That's
Ryan,
wild.
Ryan Thibodeau's
still
here
can't believe
joining
that.
us. Appreciate you joining us, Ryan. He said BK and staff have this program ahead of schedule, even with a loss to Bama.
I agree. And I told Zach this, and I wanted to say this.
And Doug says, what's up? What's up, Doug?
What's up, Doug? I agree, Ryan. I am right there with you. Honestly, if we lose tomorrow, you want to win. But I'm not overly disappointed. I'm not. Because you have put yourself on a path to be 9-3.
Yeah.
And go win a bowl game.
And
have
after the
10 games.
Florida State loss, people were going,
7-5?
7-5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that we're here, and even if you lose tomorrow, you can still have a 10-win season, is incredible. You are far ahead of schedule, I would say. I think I would expect this year, like, I was thinking this is year 2, Brian Kelly. Like, you're going into this game fighting for a shot in Atlanta. You are in the driver's seat if you win this game.
Yep.
It's huge.
Tyler Towns, by the way, said just needed the coaching staff last year and we get the W. Yeah, if you have this
Absolutely.
coaching staff, you win last year.
Bro, oh my gosh, you had the ball in the red zone with like a few minutes left in the game, and they were down 20-14. If you score and hit the PAT, you're winning that game. I mean, you got to stop their offense, but you stopped it all night long.
Yeah.
They scored 20 points, Zach, in the first half. They didn't score the whole second half.
Yep.
We went to the half down, what was it? 20-7.
Yeah.
Yes. So you got to go stop. If you score, you got to go stop them one more time, and you completely shut them out the entire second half. You are definitely like a competent coach calling, offensive play calling staff away from winning that game. Absolutely.
Jake Peets was calling that game. Good grief.
Yeah, it was. It was.
And they scored 14 somehow. Brandon Reese said BK and LSU really don't have anything to lose from a national perspective.
I agree. I do.
PK is having a better first year than Fisher is in year 5.
Guys.
Ugh.
A&M is 3-5.
Yeah, that's bad.
You are 2 games below 500.
If you lose to Bama this Saturday, you got UAB. That's already a win. That's 7, and then you got Arkansas on the road and A&M on the road. And I really like LSU's chances in both of those games.
It's brutal. Oh my Lord, talk about. You go from having the greatest recruiting class in history of recruiting, and you are 3-5, brother. A&M is the most lucrative school. Maybe them in Texas. Them in Texas are the most lucrative school. Well, I can't get it. There we go. Like in all of college football. And you put a massive class together. Hats off to you. You used NIL and got the, pulled in the big guns. And you are 3-5, brother. Yo, I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you, Zach. There are multiple billionaires.
3-5 recruiting champions.
There are multiple billionaires, not million, billion with a B, sitting in the suites at A&M any given Saturday. You think they won't fire that man because of his buyout? A&M could pay that buyout 4-fold and not be hurting.
It's crazy.
Billionaires. Jimbo better start winning. He better start winning fast because they will pay that buyout. I promise you. A&M will put the money together and they will buy him out. It's tough time down in College Station.
I think if he repeats that,
oh my gosh,
next year it is over. It will be over.
Now I will say, oh man, what's his name? I done drawn a blank. The freshman quarterback, Weigman.
What Weigman?
Weigman. Weidman, he looks pretty good. He looks to be like the most.
Yeah, they're going to
The
use
best
him.
so
He's
you-
going to be the guy moving forward, I think.
I mean, he is the guy moving
Which
forward.
makes me nervous for the LSU game because he may, finally come to his own there.
Maybe so. But I mean, they gave Ole Miss for a run for their money last week.
Yep.
Ole Miss eventually pulled it off, but look, if he don't start putting it together, he's gonna be gone. I really do believe that the buyout is no issue for A&M because it's not. It's just factually not a problem. They'll put the money together. Anyways, what Brian Kelly is doing with the decimated roster to this after losing the first game the way he did, the constant, for whatever reason, disdain for him and hatred and lack of trust in him, like all that flies out the window if he wins tomorrow.
For sure.
All of it. And
there'll still be some naysayers, but
if you win 10 games this year,
you'll shut up a lot of people.
If you win 10 games this year, I think it goes out the window. You won 10 games.
If you win 10 games this year, are you Josh? You have Josh Heupel, but man, if you won 10 games this year, like you should be considered for National Coach of the Year.
I agree. I mean,
Josh Heupel will probably Josh Heupel will win it, but I mean,
he deserves it.
He needs to be in.
He deserves it.
Yeah,
Heupel deserves it.
He does. I'm just saying, you at least need to be in the conversation.
Yeah, he would be. I think he would be a finalist for it. Zach, what's the biggest matchup for this game? What's the key matchup?
I really think it's going to be LSU's offensive line versus their defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest, and I've said this before, but their defensive line hasn't impressed me as much as I expected. Like I mentioned this, like I've said this 2 times already. Once on the show Monday, and then once on Blake's show. Like Will Anderson is a freak athlete. I'm not taking nothing away from that.
Yeah.
He's a first-round draft pick. Period. But this year, he has not impressed me as much.
It hasn't been what last year.
It hasn't been what I expected, and there have been teams that have shut him down.
Yeah,
shut him down.
Yeah, they have.
And I have a lot of confidence in LSU's offensive line right now because of how they performed, and they performed really, really well.
Yeah.
Question: is this the best defensive you've seen?
Bama's.
Is this the best defense you have seen?
Yeah.
I think it's debatable, but I would say yes.
I think it's up for grabs, but I think from a talent perspective,
but this is not. I don't think this is a defense that is like leaps and bounds better than any other defense you've seen.
No, you're right.
It's not.
No, it's not.
So like, I understand it's Bama, but we're talking like, we're not talking miles difference. We're talking like a couple steps different.
Yeah,
better than some of these
teams. The talent's there though.
Talent's definitely there. Can they put it together this weekend? But yeah, I definitely think the offensive line versus defensive line. If the offensive line is able to hold up and give Jaden Daniels time, I think they're going to have success on that secondary because the secondary of Bama is and that's another matchup. But the reason I'm saying offensive versus defensive line because if they're able to get pressure on Jaden, then that's going to obviously limit. It's going to cause problems for the passing game. But if they're able to hold up, Jaden's going to have free roam to be able to pick apart the defense in the secondary. That's not a great secondary for Alabama. And I mean, he's going to be able to run as well. I mean, we haven't seen him not be able, just completely.
No team's taking that.
No team has completely shut that down for Jaden.
Except maybe Tennessee.
Maybe Tennessee. But I mean, he even scored a touchdown in that game running.
Yeah.
So rushing the ball. So, guys, I think that's the biggest matchup when you look at LSU's offense, Bama's defense. When you go to Bama's defense versus their offense, I think it's got to be our linebackers versus their rushing attack. And obviously, Jamari Gibbs. Can Harold Perkins and Micah Baskerville, we know that they're able to play sideline to sideline, and they're very fast.
Yeah, man.
Can they limit Jamari Gibbs enough to be able to force Bryce Young? And it's like force Bryce Young, he's obviously incredible. But
big time.
Are you going to take away the running game where you're going to force Bryce Young and these receivers that have not been performing very well to beat you? Because
Yeah.
Bryce Young can beat you. Can these receivers and Bryce Young
can
beat you?
Bryce Young can beat
Bryce Young can easily beat you. Can these receivers beat you? If you're able to limit Jamari Gibbs. So, I mean, it seems cliche, Reagan, but really it's going to come down to the lines of scrimmage this game.
Always.
It always does.
Always. So here's one thing that, by the way, side note, you mentioned Harold Perkins. It has been they have not been able schematically to get Harold Perkins and BJ Ojulari on the field at the same time because they've been playing the same role. So if you want Harold Perkins on the field, you got to take BJ Ojulari off. Brian Kelly has alluded this week that we will probably, most likely, see BJ Ojulari and Harold Perkins on the field at the same time.
Which I guess I just haven't paid close
problem.
attention, Reagan. Has that not happened?
No.
Like whenever Perk's on the field, BJ's off?
Yes.
Yeah. If you see BJ and Perk on the field at the same time,
it's a problem.
Oh, my God.
Bro, the pass rush is coming. I'm excited about that. That's a side note. Here's one big thing. I'm not going to do a matchup.
I'm just knocking everything down there.
Here is one big thing that has been a problem for Bama this year. This has got to be the most undisciplined team I have ever seen coached by Nick Saban.
And they seem to have cleaned it up against State 2 weeks ago.
They seem to clean it up, but you were at home. You were at home against State. You're in Death Valley at night this week. How
and in
big?
Neyland they had 17.
Huh?
And in Neyland they had 17.
Neyland they had 17 penalties. How big of a factor are penalties going to be for Bama? If they
massive.
If they are penalized 17 times, Zach, I think we win.
Oh, LSU wins.
I think LSU wins
for sure. If you're penalized 15 times, LSU wins.
If LSU's in the ball game and Bama's getting penalized like that, the crowd is going to be freaking loud. It's going to be deafening in there.
Yeah.
I really am curious to see if they will correct the mistakes in a hostile environment. Sure, can you correct it at home? I against Mississippi State, I'll give you that one. But last time you were in a hostile environment, you almost committed 20 penalties, and it cost you greatly. We'll see. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting game, and I think it's going to be really close. But we need to hit a quick break, and we'll come back, hit some comments, and we will give you our tools for success for the Tigers tomorrow. We'll see you right back after this. 5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. All right, everybody, back for our last segment here. Let's hit some quick comments, and then we'll get to it. Zach, what we got?
Brennan Reese said, I would blitz Young early and often.
Agreed.
Yeah, get him out of his mojo early.
Uncomfortable. Make him uncomfortable. Get the crowd into it.
Ryan Thibodeau said, BJ and Perk are going to have to be LSU's version of Anderson and Turner. Yeah, I agree. I very much agree. He also said they're going to have to chip Anderson. Yeah, the running backs are going to come in critical.
Yeah, Brian Kelly.
Pass blocking. I
was kind of surprised he said this, but he straight up said you're going to use the tight ends and the running backs to chip Will Anderson this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he tipped you
what he was doing,
his plan for that. So can you execute? You're definitely going to have to do that for sure.
Yep. Brandon Reese said, beating them would make my year. It would make my year too, honestly.
Man.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Ryan said, Toa is a problem.
Very true. Very true. He is.
Let's see. And then Brandon, we talked about this, but Brandon said we had him on the ropes last year with the depleted roster. Why not seal the deal this year?
Do it, man.
And I did want to say to comment on that, Brandon. Like, this is a completely different year. You can't just go back and look at last year.
Sure. Completely different
does
roster.
Bama's,
Holy cow.
Completely different roster, a better roster. And I know I understand people are like, well, it's a better roster. You should win.
Different game, different year, different coaches.
Game,
it just doesn't
year,
play out
different
like
coaches.
That.
Yeah.
You just can't say that. You just can't make that comp.
And then they're going to go, well, we have better coaches now.
You can't make the comp. It's just not how it works.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But we need to just focus on this year's game. But I will say, after seeing last year and factoring in all of those variables, it makes an LSU fan. See, again, I try to.
We can do it.
I try to be a realist, and look at reality, but yeah, when you look at those factors, it kind of makes the LSU fan come out and you just be like, yes, we're gonna beat them. We got a better team. We got better coaching. It's at Baton Rouge. Like, come on. But we know all too well, LSU fans, that Bama has continually broken our hearts.
Yeah.
Time after time. Like,
oh my god.
Like, it's just is what it is. It is what it is. All right, Reagan, you want to get some TA tools for success?
Yes, my tools for success. Here's my tool for success. Just mentioned it. BJ Ojulari and Harold Perkins on the field at one time. Here is my, I don't know, I guess you call it a hot take prediction. Bryce Young is sacked at least 3 times.
Ooh!
Bryce Young is sacked at least 3 times. There's constant pressure. That is your key, one of the keys to the game. Make him uncomfortable, get pressure after him. He's sacked 3. My prediction, he's sacked 3 times tomorrow night.
Wow.
At least 3. I would not be surprised if he sacked more. Give me 3 times. My other, I guess my tool is get pressure. Cause pressure.
Yes, I agree.
My other key to success, I got 2 more. You cannot, and they're going to do it. Lord, they're going to do it. We know they're going to do it. Father, forgive them. I know this is not how it goes, but we know they're going to do it.
Lord,
you cannot start the game in a double-digit deficit every time and expect to come back.
Okay, I disagree.
Okay, stop.
They have continually proven. They have continually proven this season that it does not matter if they get into a double-digit deficit. They can come back.
This is Nick Saban. This is one of the premier programs and premier top teams this year. You got a slow start against Tennessee. You saw what happened in Death Valley.
Yeah, but a lot of things happened in that game that did not go LSU's way. A couple balls bounced the right way for LSU, and you're in that game.
You directly aimed a gun at your foot and shot it. The ball bouncing, Zach, you shot yourself in the foot in that game.
Okay, but like the drop, I agree.
Yes.
You shot yourself.
The return.
I don't think they're going to make those same mistakes.
I don't either. I'm not talking about mistakes. I mean, you have allowed now 3 Power 5 schools. Some of them you've won. No, excuse me. Florida State, Auburn, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss. 4 Power 5.
Technically Florida. You're down.
Florida.
I don't think you were down double digits to them, but
no, you never down to. But
you were down early.
4 Power 5 teams. You have started down double digits.
Yeah.
You can't do it against Bama. They'll put a chokehold on you. Yeah. And that will take the crowd out of it.
Immediately.
You cannot start slow. Now, physically, I don't think it's a physical thing. And Brian Kelly said that. He said we think it's completely, as a coaching staff, he said we think it's completely mental. So they have changed some of their way of practice to try and prevent that. They would come into practice and it would be, like 20 minutes until they contact, like in practice. Now, like, they changed practice. They went right out there and they got to hitting, like, immediately. And so and also I think they've done some other mental exercises for, a preparation game perspective. You just can't do that against Alabama. You cannot give them a double-digit lead. You be the team to put a chokehold on this game. Take control. Don't do the same thing over and over. Prove that you can correct your mistakes. Prove that you can, as a coaching staff, overcome that problem within your team. Put a chokehold on this game and dominate it. Your last key to success, tool for success. If you do that, Death Valley is back from the dead tomorrow night.
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine?
Death Valley will be in peak form tomorrow night. No empty seats. Loud the whole time. Make a difference with your stadium. That is the reason we call it Death Valley. It's the reason it's the most intimidating place to play at night. Make it a factor. Make it a problem for Alabama. Zach, we cannot lie. Death Valley has been dead.
Yeah,
It's been dead. Bring it back to life. Even in the stinking Ole Miss games, there's too many freaking empty seats. You beat a top 10 team by 25 points, and you couldn't pack the stadium.
Yeah, that was rough.
Pack the stadium tomorrow and bring it back to freaking life. I'm tired of watching Death Valley like we know it should be, and it is subpar to what we know it can be. Be the Death Valley that you know you can be. Make it a factor.
Well, speaking of that, Reagan, let's look at our poll. Because
I know it's a sold-out game,
so currently we put a confidence level, and the reason I asked this is because I wonder how confident this fan base is right now, and maybe that's a reason why we're seeing the outcome of the attendance at the game, how confident they are in just LSU football in general. So 8% say easy dub. 77% say it's going to be a nail biter.
Yeah.
And 15% say no shot we win. Now, listen, I knew that nail biter would be the biggest one.
Sure.
But I was curious to see the other two between easy dub and no shot we win. And still we have a bigger percentage under no shot we win.
Yeah.
So there's still – this is what I wanted to get to with my TA tools for success.
Those are my tools for success, though.
There is still a Bama block, a mental block, because this is Alabama.
Change the narrative.
Change the narrative. Take that mental block away that this is Bama. We've always lost to Bama. Not only for I want not only the fans to do this, but the team, the players, the coaches. Take that mental block away. This is another game, like any other game. I understand it's Bama. I understand. They're a really great team. This is going to be the best team that you have played outside of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And it will be the best team that you have played outside of Tennessee this year. So take that middle block away and go out and execute. Have fun. The fans, and Reagan alluded to it, the stadium needs to be rocking. Absolutely rocking.
Vintage Tiger Stadium.
So come out, punch them in the mouth early. That's one of my 2A tools. Punch them in the mouth early. Do I believe that they can get out of it and come back if they are down 2 touchdowns? I do. I believe it because they've proven it time and time again.
I think they can too, but I don't want that to happen.
We don't want it to happen.
We don't want it to happen.
But avoid that. Avoid that. Come on, punch them in the mouth early. Here's my other thing. The special teams so far in the last couple weeks.
Oh, no.
Are we? I don't know. For our audio podcast listeners, we're knocking on wood.
Major knock on wood.
The last 2 weeks, the special teams have performed okay. Not well, but okay. The coverage has been good against Ole Miss. The
Been
coverage,
better.
the kickoff and punt coverage were good. Michael Clayton's done a fantastic job at fielding the punt. I think even somebody put it. Let's see if somebody put it in there here. I think Brandon put it in here.
Don't take the ball. Defer.
I
If you
think-
win the toss, defer.
Brandon said somewhere here, I have to find it, but he said, just let it roll into the end zone on punt
Literally.
returns.
Yes. I don't care if it rolls to the 5-yard line.
I don't care.
Let it.
Just do not. You cannot turn the ball over this game. Do
No.
not turn the ball over this game. My second TA tool for success, and this is a little bit of a fan take /
Sure.
definitely the fleshly LSU fan inside of me. Somebody go up and moss freaking Elias Ricks.
That'd be awesome.
Somebody go up
In
and
the end
moss
zone.
Elias Ricks in the end zone. I want so bad, and I talked about this for a long time. I want so bad to make an edit, and it's a side-by-side of Jamar Chase, Moss and Diggs, and I don't care who it is, BTJ, Butte, Besh, Malik Neighbors, somebody Moss and Eli Durant Ricks. Please. Somebody. That's not a really tool for success. It's more like a wish.
That would be a dream come true.
It's more like a dream come true. So, but a lot of the same things that Reagan said, I have to agree with. Get pressure on the quarterback.
You got to make Bryce Young uncomfortable.
Yes. And you cannot allow him to
Settle in.
And you also can't allow him to just run around the backfield like go berserk and buy time.
Yeah.
Because you're going to kill your defensive backfield.
Here comes Latu.
Yeah. You're going to kill your defensive backfield when they have to cover that long. You have to pressure him early, and you have to get him down early. So I have to agree with that, Reagan. But I think we should probably give our picks and predictions.
Yes, absolutely.
Or our predictions, our game scores, how we believe the outcome is going to be, and call it a night.
All right. I'll give you my prediction.
All right.
I don't bet against the Tigers. Well, I don't bet the Tigers, period. I don't bet. I'm taking the Tigers, though, every time. Death Valley, at night, top 10 matchup. Give me the Tigers. And give me the Tigers winning. Give me the Tigers 31-28.
31-28.
31-28. Give me the Tigers.
I'm very close with you. LSU fans, specifically Balcony Bengals, I apologize. In our picks, I have gone against the Tigers twice. I went against them when they played Tennessee.
Maybe
that
you
one
go against them. Maybe
that one worked out for me. But that one worked out for me, and then I went against them in this one. It didn't work out for me.
Sure.
So I think I'm going to stick with LSU. I'm going to pick the Tigers because I'm confident in this game for LSU with it being at home, being a new era under Brian Kelly. But B, I really don't want to have to deal with the wrath of the Balcony Bengals after the game or when my picks are released. So
it's a lose-lose if you pick that.
It's a lose-lose.
If we win, boy, you're gonna hear it. If we lose, you're gonna hear it.
Yeah. It's a lose-lose. So Balcony Bengals, LSU fans, 35-31 Tigers. And I will release the picks late tonight on TigersAvenue.com.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, Zach, is Tennessee or Georgia winning tomorrow?
Tennessee.
I'm taking Tennessee all day.
Georgia's not gonna be able to keep
Rocky
up scoring.
Top will always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top.
Woo!
Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Our pit.
I'm not against it. I'm not
LSU
against
Jesus,
it.
our pit.
I'm not against it.
All right,
I'm down for Tennessee to win the East.
Anders Lee / Bayou Bertha says 38-34 LSU. I like it. All right. We're going to take a final break. While we do that, y'all that are in here. Oh, here we go. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the picks.
Get some more.
Ryan Thibodeau, 28-27 LSU.
Tigers!
Ooh, man, that's a nail biter.
Oh,
That's a butt clincher right there.
God. Oh, man.
We're going to take a quick break. Those of y'all that are here, send us your predictions, and we will close it out with those. We'll be back right after this.
Make sure you go follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Tigers Avenue, for daily updates on the show and all things LSU sports. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to click off and hit that subscribe button at Tigers Avenue. We broadcast all of our shows live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Yes, sir. Do we got any more picks, Zach? Any more
We
picks?
do. Brandon Reese, 31-24 LSU.
31-24. I think we're all about the same area there.
Yeah. I think it's going to be in the game in the 30s.
I don't think we have any more picks right now. Guys, to wrap the show up, look, regardless of what happens tomorrow, in my opinion, I'm content. If you go win 9 games and get a 10th win in a bowl game, I'm super thrilled. 10 wins, first season, Brian Kelly, I'm pumped. Really pumped for the future. If you go win this game tomorrow, I'm through the moon.
Holy cow.
I'm through the moon. We're going.
We will be relentless.
All you PK haters,
We will be relentless.
we're coming for it. We're coming for it. Man, it's great to have this conversation. It really is. At this point in the season, Brian Kelly's first year, it's incredible that we're talking about a chance to make it to Atlanta.
We
With
could
the
be
win
having
this
this
game.
conversation and going, LSU just needs to make it competitive. LSU just needs to fight, to try and prove themselves or whatever. But we're actually having a conversation about LSU winning this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's exciting. Sit back, enjoy it tomorrow. If you're going to be there, be loud.
Bobby,
Bobby,
we expect
You better
to
be loud.
Obnoxious.
make Death Valley what we know it can be. All right, guys. Appreciate all y'all joining in, commenting, giving us your predictions and whatnot, and so forth. And again, we apologize
For Bayou
for
Bertha.
Bayou Bertha.
Good
We
Lord.
don't know what happened there, but apparently he's the devil's son, and he also has a deal with the
his
devil.
dad.
Deal with his father.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Bayou Bertha. Appreciate your appearance. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time to recap whatever transpires tomorrow night. We'll see you next time in the Tigers Avenue 5-star here. Take us out. Peace.